Hi, everybody. This is Beth Dean, and I'm here to talk to you about emotional eating. I know for many of you, this can be a very sensitive subject, a very personal subject, because really what we're talking about is our relationship with food. But I want to share with you 5 strategies for emotional eating. So let's take a look. The first one, we'll get to this. We're working on a webinar. The first one is slow down. It's a big one. In fact, it's why it's the first one, in my opinion. It's a game changer. We live, don't you believe, most of us, we live in a microwave fast food society, and it's catching us. But if you can work on slowing down, being more mindful, being more present, taking more time to deep breathe, slow down with your meals, you can start to change chronic fatigue, mood, metabolism, weight loss, all kinds of digestive issues, and more. So let's take a look. I want to get just a bit techy to help you understand this and how the physiology of your body makes this so important, slowing down. So let's take a look. In your body, there's something called your autonomic nervous system. I don't think you need to really remember that. I'm not sure. But what I want you to remember is what I call rest and digest, because there are 2 subsystems under that. And the first one is your sympathetic system. It's your stress response. And it's going to turn off digestion. Now, I don't want you to think that all stress is bad. If your child is running out into the middle of the street, that you kind of go into a flight response to go rescue your child, that's a good thing. Or if you have something really important like a big test, a big presentation that you're feeling a little nervous about, it can allow you to focus in and actually maybe do better. But for most of us, we are living in too much stress. And we need to work on going into another system, which is called your parasympathetic system. And it's your body, you're going into relaxation. And this can actually activate digestion. This is something our society is really, really needing to work on. To help you understand the stress response and how it can negatively affect your body, I love this. This comes from Mark David. It's called the Slow Down Diet. And he shares about 25 or so reasons of how stress biochemically affects your body. We're not going to spend time talking about each and every one of these. That'd be a little bit much. But let's just take a look at some of the big ones even. It increases your blood cholesterol. It decreases thyroid hormone. It decreases kidney function. It increases your cortisol and insulin resistance. When your cortisol and insulin resistance is up, you're going to have more trouble with fat or that tire around the middle. So we want to work on getting more present, going into that parasympathetic, that relaxation, and reducing the amount of stress. And for some of us, what that might mean is to quit saying the negative things like, I'm so fat, I'm such a loser, I'm so stupid. If only, if I was smarter, I could get a promotion or whatever it is. That kind of stress can be very damaging on our body. Let's move on. The next one, strategy I want to talk to you about is letting go of perfectionism. I think this is a big one. I think a lot of us get caught in this. It's what I'm wanting you to do is letting go of the all or none, the good and bad thinking. Oh, I ate bad. Oh, gosh, last night I ate a whole bag of chips. I'm bad. So now I've got to be really good, and I'm not going to eat anything but salads and for the rest of the week, whatever it is. That all or none, good or bad, I'm on a diet, I'm off of a diet, can get us into a lot of trouble. And I actually want to share personal thoughts on this. I've struggled with this. As a personal trainer, I've lived with this thought of I had to be perfect. I had to have the perfect body. Who would hire a personal trainer if she wasn't thin, didn't have the perfect body? And I've actually had to get some counseling about this because what I would do is I would go into a very restrictive eating, and then of course I couldn't sustain that, and so then I would want to binge or overeat. And so I've had to learn to let go of perfectionism and learn what's like good enough, and learn on working on what is healthy and nourishing for my body versus being perfect and eating only the perfect foods and trying to really restrict. It didn't work, and I want to suggest to all of you, it won't work for you either. Let go of being perfectly on a diet or not being on one and then just going crazy. Let's look at the third one. The third one is a really important strategy too, and it's toxic dietary beliefs. And I'm going to share 3 of these with you, and these are really important because if you're struggling with any of these, you are living probably with a lot of shame, and you're living with some beliefs that aren't true. The first one I think we're getting rid of and it's that fat in the food makes me fat. I think we're getting better about this one, but I still hear it out there that people believe if they eat too much fat, they're going to get fat. But you need fat. You need good fat, actually. So I'm talking about like olive oil, like coconut oil, avocados, even some healthy nuts, that kind of thing. But here's the thing. If I took all the fat out of your body, or I just sucked it out, you would die in an instant. Your brain has to have it. It has to have it to function. It's 40 to 60% fat. And like here we have cell membranes, your hormone balance. We go on and on. So you need fat, but focus on eating healthy fats, fats that come from more from nature and not your processed fats, and definitely not your trans fats. Those are what are tripping you up. Your next one, what I want to talk to you about, is food is the enemy. I do see this. And if this is you, I really want you to work on bashing this one. And if you're really struggling with it, seek some help. I can talk to you, maybe one of the other trainers, or maybe you need to actually get some additional counseling. But if you're walking around saying, if I eat or I don't lose weight, I'm not going to be loved, or I wish I didn't have to eat, then I could hook this, like I've heard people say, oh, I wish food was almost like alcohol. I didn't even have to have it. But that's not good. That's not healthy thinking. Because if you're thinking food's the enemy or it's a problem, you need food to live. You're actually fighting against what you need to live. It's not that food is the enemy. Try changing your thoughts to more as thinking about what can food do for me versus what food can do to me. I think when we're thinking of food as the enemy, we're thinking what food can do to you. Well, that's probably because some of the choices of your food, not so much food itself. The next one is, and I think a lot of us live with this one, if only I were thin, I would be happy. If only I could lose those 10 more pounds, then I could get the clothes I want. If only I could learn how to run, then I could get fit because I could go out running every day, or whatever it is. When we're looking at this if only thinking, you aren't looking at the present. You're looking in the future. Sometimes you may be looking in the past. But you can't change something that isn't happening. You can only change what's happening right now, in the present. What can you do today? What powerful things do you know about yourself that you can use to help you make some different changes? That's how you're going to actually get some action. Living in the I wish, if only, is only keeping you out of the present and where you can make some changes and where you can actually learn to love yourself today, okay? Let's go on to the next strategy. And this is the wisdom of our body. I'm a big one on this. A lot of people hear me say this one. But here's the thing. What I want to share with you is there are a lot of experts out there, and I have pictures of apps, and you can see that. And there are apps for food logging or ideas or whatever. And I'm not saying you shouldn't seek once in a while the advice of experts or Google a little something if you need to, or looking at an app. But here's the deal. Your body is the best expert you'll ever have. I want you to think about, I'm not sure how old most of you are, but I'm going to take my own self. When I was 20, I ate differently than I do now that I'm in my 50s. My body is not the same. The chemistry is not the same. My lifestyle is not the same. So if I was trying to live and do the same thing I did back then, it wouldn't work. The same with some of the different books out there. Maybe what fits for that athlete that wrote it, or that bodybuilder, or whatever it is, works for them. It may not be right for you. Because here's kind of something interesting. I don't know if you know about this, but I call it having a brain in your belly. And I call it the gut brain, or really what it is, it's your enteric nervous system. The interesting thing about your enteric nervous system is it has more nerve cells than your spinal cord, and it sends messages all day. And you know what it is. Your enteric nervous system, or that gut feeling, have you ever been somewhere or been something, you go, oh my gut, I just know I shouldn't do this, or I just feel that in my gut that something's calling me, telling you to do something different. Or you have those butterflies, kind of that anxious kind of feeling about something. That's your enteric nervous system speaking to you. And you'd actually be really wise to listen to it because it's probably telling you something you need to be listening to. You know, it's interesting. In our culture, if we say someone's wise or smart, we might point to their head. But in the Asian culture, they actually point to their gut, to the middle of their body. And I think they may have something there. When you truly listen, it tells you stuff. I just know from myself, when I really am in tune with my body and I'm listening, I can basically tell you, I could pretty much tell you the next day, or I could get on the scale and I could tell you before I was even on if I'm up or I'm down. I can tell you if I'm going to have a good workout or a bad workout, just based on how I feel. It's telling me things, and I know how I'm going to perform. So let's go on to the last strategy. And this last one is that I want to let you know you are not alone. You are part of a collective. This is not something that just you alone struggle with, your relationship with food or emotional eating. No, I don't think so. There are millions and millions. Just to help you share this, this actually kind of breaks my heart how many people struggle with this. But let's just take a look at this. There was a study done a few years back. Already, 3 to 6 year old girls are worrying about being fat. 50%. I find that really, really sad that a 3-year-old girl, I mean, even a 6-year-old is pathetic, but 3 years old, already feeling this, not liking parts about their bodies. And some of you can be sitting back and going, oh, that's so sad. I feel so bad about that. But I'm probably talking to a lot of women, and I know it's going on and on more with men. But women, you're not much better here. Look at this. 97% of women each day will go around thinking they hate their body or some part of their body. So let's say right now, I don't know, it'd be kind of nice if 100 people are going to listen to this. 97 of you are struggling. 97. There'd be 3 people that are feeling okay with this subject. That is a problem. We need to be talking about this. We need to be networking. If you are really, really struggling with your relationship with food and emotional eating, again, I want to suggest to you, talk to somebody, seek help. You're not alone, and it's okay. Lastly, what I want to, before I go into a closing, is I have this picture of this woman, and I want to suggest to you that you do what this woman is doing, and it's scary as heck, because I've been this gal. I want to suggest to you that you let go of the old bar. There are things or behaviors that maybe you are doing right now that you know don't serve you. Maybe they were one of the strategies I just shared. Maybe it's you're trying to be perfect, or you're eating really fast, or living life really fast, whatever it might be. Those things that aren't serving you. Let go of that bar. Start to go toward the new bar, the new behaviors, the new you that can give you the life you want to live, can help you to have a healthier relationship with food. That spot where she is, where she's just kind of looks like she's going to free fall, or she's in that open air, that's where change happens. And it can be the greatest space to be in, because that's where change can happen. And that's, if you hang on to that old bar, you're not going to change. You got to let go. And I know that that's scary, and I know that there's fear in that. But sometimes what I've found, if you're hanging on to that old bar, you're living in shame. Here's the things I know about shame. If you're living in shame, you're tending to want to be alone with it. You're tending to want to be secretive about it, and you're judging. That is no way to live. That is not how you're intended to live. So again, let go of that bar and change. Go for the new things. Again, if you're needing help, let us know. We can help you. And lastly, I just want to end with a closing. Oops, let's see if it's in here. Okay, there it is. I want to share a poem from Marianne Williamson. It's called Our Deepest Fear. And I think this speaks a ton of truth. It's one of my favorites. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, Who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's actually in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. So in closing, I want to say to you, you were born to manifest the glory of God that is within you. Each and every one of you has a power, a purpose, something that God wants you to do. If your relationship with food is keeping you stuck from living that power, that purpose, I want to suggest to you, seek the change. Start making those changes. You are powerful, you can do it, and you're not alone. Thank you.